and welcome back to the ASUS ROG Dream League. It's day 4. We've got some great games coming in for you today. And if you're not familiar with the Dream League, it's DreamHack's new Dota 2 league, and it's $50,000 in prize money, where we've invited 6 of the best teams, and they will be competing over the course of the league to make the playoffs and play the finals at DreamHack Winter. And let's, of course, meet who's going to be playing today in the 3 matches. First up, it's going to be Team Liquid versus, no, it's not. It's going to be Virtus.Pro versus Team Liquid. It is still Team Liquid. The hunt for Red October, apparently that one. Game 2 is going to be Fnatic versus Virtus.Pro. This is the sinking of Red October. And last game today is going to be Evil Geniuses versus Na'Vi, the revenge of Red October. And this is Milton, who's challenged us to say he can... What's going on?
Extend.
That's it.
We worked a long time on that intro.
Welcome back to the studio then. Yeah, so all about the Red October today, apparently.
Yeah, big fan of the movie.
How's your Connery? You did a Stallone yesterday.
I did. I can't do a Connery, sadly.
No one really
No,
can.
it's impossible.
Everyone thinks they can, but they can't.
Only the man himself is capable. Okay, James?
We were
Yes,
actually
please.
going to talk about the games. We were just saying like, no one can do a Sean Connery impression. So I don't know if you expected more out of this, but that's all.
No, I just wanted to leave that moment to kind of settle and be there for a little bit. Yeah, yesterday we had 3 games that were played. Of course, it was Team Liquid versus Alliance, Na'Vi versus VP, EG versus VP. First game, Team Liquid versus Alliance. Alliance came back and they looked pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of had, I wouldn't say doubts, but they looked a little bit shaky from time to time. And they came in yesterday and they were like, yeah, we're still pretty much considered the best team in the world. And they won pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be able to take a look at the highlight from that game as well, just to kind of break down exactly what happened. One of the most interesting moments of yesterday's match, where Alliance versus Team Liquid happened, burgers versus meatballs maybe, is Loda, who actually got away with the no-hand juke.
This is the no-hand, no, I'm just going to get up and get a drink juke. Just casually walks into the side. Way 2 comes down. He inspects the situation.
He sees him.
The only way you can excuse this is if you say he TP'd. That's the only way you can say, all right, fine, he's gone because he definitely TP'd. And then in the meantime, EGM jukes and gets away.
Later on, after Alliance got lane dominance, completely destroying most of TL's team, they were forced to take a Roshan fight. Looks like Liquid knew that was the only chance they could make something happen. They lost the Roshan fight, giving Aegis to Loda, as you can see, taking a little bit of damage at the front line. They just want the racks. Even though he does go down, he's going to repop. And a nice RP and skewer from S4, and this fight will once again go in favor of Alliance. So it was a pretty clean victory, you could definitely say. And to sum up, Alliance looked really good. Team Liquid, again, they have these moments where they get some great fights, but this was the one game where they didn't get anything at all.
Even from the laning phase, I thought that Team Liquid were going to be behind. We saw how hard of a time Sam had in that game, Boba. He was zoned by EGM from level 1, didn't even get Gale, just sat there, auto-attacked all day, poison sting. He never got anything at all, and in comparison, Bulldog that game got way more.
Also, Koiva having the Queen of Pain versus Magnus matchup in paper seemed like a very, very good one.
Until
Lich did appear there,
Double
and
Lich in
then
there,
suddenly it became so hard for him that he got 4 deaths immediately.
Yeah, so that was the first game of yesterday. We will be seeing Team Liquid today as well, but we're going to the second match of yesterday. It was Na'Vi versus Virtus.Pro, the Eastern rivalry.
Eastern rivalry.
And we wanted Na'Vi to come out and play pretty strong, just because so far their performance wasn't really up to standard.
They did.
And they did. Virtus.Pro brought in a new member to their team yesterday, which was Blow Your Brain, but Dendi on the Windrunner, who played mid, actually ended up picking up a pretty fast blink, and also accompanied by a Dagon shortly after the blink, was able to get the kills. You can see Kurokai going to get a Hex off here, and they will wrap up that kill. But Dendi was everywhere. He made it an absolute nightmare, but the other side of it, Virtus.Pro actually decided to go for a Midas on their Darkseer Light of Heaven on the off lane, and also a Midas on
Viper.
Instead of going just for core items, anywhere from a mech to Aghanims or whatever you needed, and that just set them back so much. And I think Dendi saw that and was like, well, I just might as well get a Dagon, finish this one up as quickly as possible.
Why not? It worked. I mean, when this is an item that is actually useful if you can get it in the right circumstances.
Yeah.
You could argue that at that point, if you have gotten for a butterfly or something, you will still won the game. But Dagon, if you can get it early, 25 minutes, Dagon 5, you can't stop that hero.
Yeah, but that was the game as well that VP didn't look comfortable as a team, I would say.
No, they were supposed to be pressuring Na'Vi during the early game because they had a really greedy support pick in the Shadow Shaman. Na'Vi picked it up and Kuro was playing it. But they didn't pressure any of the lanes at all, and they were using a safe lane farming Viper. That's okay if he had gone something like Phase Boots into mech, because then you don't get ward trapped. We saw that happen behind the tier 1 top, and he got just decimated, basically. And they don't have any survivability at all versus a team where if they get to set up on a tower, they win the fight every single time, and VP just never got any momentum.
All right, well, after their second game, Virtus.Pro had to go up versus Evil Geniuses, and this was going to be Evil Geniuses' debut in the ASUS ROG Dreamleague, and both teams desperately, I think, wanted a win, because this is a match where you've already seen Fnatic, Na'Vi, and Alliance kind of say, we're the top, and you want to be top 4, so anybody else under that, you still have to consider your rival to get through. And the game started off very much in favor of Virtus.Pro.
Yep.
They actually went up
7-0.
7-0. And the only thing you can say about this game, I do believe on Reddit Reddit/r/Dota2, they made a thread about just this game, like absolutely crazy, best pub game we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because the amount of kills by the end of it were almost over 100, I believe.
Yes.
And it was all about Artsar on his Sand King for a lot of the time. He was really getting the farm that he wanted. He was so fat in terms of items and hitting many great stuns. But then on the other side, we actually had from EG, Fogged playing his Rubik. As you can see, Fogg just hook shots in,
he got
gets
shot
the
there.
kill, and unfortunately wasn't able to force staff out. But Artsar and Fogged from those two teams made some of the best highlights, I think, from the tournament thus far, because that game itself was spectacular moments, even though
It was messy.
it was, yeah, they did kind of throw it back to each other
Back
a
and
few
forth.
times.
It was like watching a game of catch, really.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while. And, you know, you make all the jokes, but honestly, there were so many mistakes made that game from both teams. At some point, they had all the tier 1s dead. VP were pushing into tier 2s. They took 2 or 3 awkward fights back to back, kind of gave EG the game back for a while. Then you have a couple more team fights where things go wrong. A couple of BKBs weren't used by the Riki that game, and then the game just got really hard for VP. Of course, they ended up winning.
Yep.
But I want to say this, and you guys are welcome to disagree, but I think Fogged might have been a better Sand King than Artsar was that game. Better burrow strikes.
I think he was the MVP of the whole match, even though they lost,
Yeah.
because VP did win, but he definitely outshined anybody in that game. But Artsar surely also played amazing. So after the 3 games yesterday and the 2 days before, we've actually can give you an update on the standings before we get into today's matches. And we can still see Fnatic, they didn't have to play yesterday, so they're sitting still comfortable at the top, 3-0, with their wins over Alliance and Na'Vi, beating Na'Vi twice. Under that, Alliance came back in yesterday after only losing to Fnatic on day 1 and took two victories overall. I think yesterday they only played 1 match, but so far after losing against Fnatic, they've been very comfortable. Na'Vi desperately needed wins, and that's what they got. So they're now up to 2 and 3 after a pretty bad start to the tournament. Virtus.Pro, they needed a win yesterday as well, and they managed to get it in the final game where they beat Evil Geniuses, so they're now up to 1 and 2. EG, unfortunately, yesterday was their debut game, not taking a win. They sit in 5th place at 0 and 1, but EG will be playing today. They'll be going up against Na'Vi as our final match. And Team Liquid, 0 and 2. Probably not what they expected, but they've also had the 2 maybe hardest first games. They've played Alliance and Na'Vi.
Yeah.
So maybe it gets a little bit easier for them from here on in.
I think in this matchup, if we're talking about at least the first game, it's like, I think Liquid come into this maybe even the favorites just because of how messy VP played the other day. They had their strong moments, but they also had this really lax decision-making where a lot of the time I didn't feel like VP was on the same page at all. Now, you can say they've been using a stand-in, but Pull Your Brain is a pro player, and he has been for a very long time. So obviously he knows what his role is going to be in any given situation. So for me, going into this, I think that Liquid probably the favorites.
All right, well, we should get the first game on the way. So as you mentioned, Liquid are your favorites, and the match we're going into here on day 4 is going to be Virtus.Pro versus Team Liquid. Hunt for the Red October. Is that what it said there?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that movie for some reason anymore.
Seriously?
Like, I've seen him, but it's just...
Seen
I've
him?
lost
It's a movie. It's not him.
Seen
You've seen It's one movie.
Oh, yes.
Seen
Not a
him.
collective.
Seen him.
Seen it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
English. It's
Go on,
okay,
yeah.
slang. But I just can't remember how it went.
Sean Connery in a submarine.
being awesome.
Was it a
Being
yellow
awesome.
submarine?
It was not Bruno. He's escaping from Russia. He's stolen it, basically. It's a special secret sort of drive, silent drive.
Yeah.
And he's coming across the Atlantic, and they're not sure if he's stealing it or if he's going to come and attack America. And Jack Ryan,
Spoiler alert.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
now I can't
maybe-
really
Sean
watch
Connery
it.
saves the world.
And yep. So
Doesn't he?
That's
How
not
have you
even a
seen that
spoiler.
movie? Jeez.
He does that every other movie.
I've seen it, but I just can't remember because I must have watched it when I was really young.
That's like saying you haven't seen The Rock. I mean,
Oh, you know what I watched last night because of you?
Oh, yeah.
I watched Fern Gully.
such a good movie, man.
Jeez.
I watched it when I was a kid. It's classic.
Yeah,
Robin
it
Williams,
wasn't.
man.
Robin Williams was in there as Batty, but it just wasn't. You know,
Well, maybe when
wasn't so.
you're like,
Yeah.
maybe you don't want to watch it when you're our age. Maybe it's better when you're a kid, James. Maybe it's
Kids'
like you
movies are
reminisce
great.
about a cool movie, and maybe it was really cool
Oh,
when
but
you
you
were
can
like
hype
8.
a movie like that.
What?
And then forget the disclaimer. Oh, no, it's an amazing movie if you're 8.
Yeah, but I remember it as amazing. So whatever you guys think isn't going to tarnish my recollection of Fern Gully. So
So, Virtus.Pro have 5 members to their team, and one of them isn't Cliff. It's still going to be Blow Your Brain playing the carry. So yesterday, they did manage to take their first win. Light of Heaven was playing off lane, G mid, NS and Artsart on support, who played amazing. And particularly, we can go to Artsart and just talk about him. He's played well, I think, all games thus far. We've never had a reason to say he's done amazing until yesterday's match, but we've never had a reason to point to him and gone, oh, he could have done a little bit more. He's been pretty solid for the team of Virtus.Pro, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's the invaluable addition of Light of Heaven to this team, is that you can't single-handedly point the mistakes of someone else. Because
That's cold.
We're worse than the media.
we are.
Well, are you saying we're not part of the media? Are you distancing us from the entire
Yeah.
concept
We're
of
very
media?
special. With
are we
the-
not mainstream?
No, we're
I
not.
want to be mainstream. That's why I wear these shirts. It's in working.
Dude, you know, it's casual Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've not ironed. That's my
Yeah.
part of being casual.
This is not iron.
That's not casual, period.
Period. Go casual.
Done.
Much better.
Oh my God, you have poppers.
Excellent.
Okay, so now are you feeling better?
Yeah,
Yes.
God, it's
Much
getting
more
hot
so.
under these
It's not
two.
actually Casual Thursday. We just told the production team that.
Yeah, we just
because
phoned it in.
It's our last day this
we
week.
don't actually have a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of casuals, let's meet the team of Team Liquid.
Bam. You didn't hold anything back on that one, did you?
Damn.
So far, 0-2 in the tournament.
Yeah. But I don't think they were pretty good in that first game. I think they were a couple of good team fights away from winning that one. I think the game against Na'Vi, and then I don't know, Alliance, sorry, and then the second game against Na'Vi, that was when it didn't go so well.
Yeah, they've had their 2 toughest games thus far, I believe,
I've got to
outside
do
of
that.
maybe Fnatic, and they've not been able to pick up the win. So we can also talk about Fluff and Stuff. Brian Lee.
Team captain.
Yeah.
And he has a very hard job in front of him because right now Team Liquid are not playing push. They don't really know how to play push in 679, and they can't really play against push very well.
Yeah.
And that's something that you kind of need to do right now, and it's the adaptation time that they take. If maybe this week they can get things right, this can be one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah,
But
that's
right
what
now
we've
they're
said.
kind of struggling.
Yeah, we've definitely said that Team Liquid, when they actually can get going with the patch and the kind of skill and the difference of players that they have, they can surely beat anybody. But they need to get it right, and it somewhat needs to come from the captain, which is Fluff and Stuff, to come up with a plan. Do you think they're going to be able to do it versus Virtus.Pro?
I think if you're a team like Liquid right now, and like Bruno said, you're struggling to find your identity in the new patch, just go with something that you know works. Pick your Earthshaker. Fluff loves that hero. They're so good at running 2-1-2 lanes, but they don't do it very often because they think that they need to overthink everything. But if you're in a patch where you don't know what strategy is going to work the best, just pick good lanes that can win. And usually that transitions into a pretty solid mid game. And we already seen they know how to fight. Their team fighting is not bad.
They've
So-
lost on lanes and
Yeah.
picks.
I mean,
They've had-
they pick something that might be considered relatively greedy, and they get far behind, and then they never have any recovery. So for me, pick strong lane setups and just go from there.
What about Virtus.Pro? Piran, got any advice for them?
Well, no, I'm not going to give them advice, but I think if they're going to beat a team, I think they could beat Team Liquid until they get their act together. I think Drasko's right; they are a good side. I like all their players, but I mean, yesterday we saw when they went up against Timber against Venno Luna, it just completely blew up on them, and the whole game spiraled out of control from that point. And I kind of thought, are they going to pull this back? Is there a way for them to pull it back? I don't know. We'll have to see how they pick.
Bruno, how are we looking with the game? Oh,
Well-
you're in charge of the game. Andy's in charge of the
Yeah.
game.
We're in the game.
We're in the
We're
game.
in the game.
We're ready to go.
It's in the game.
I'm ready to leave then. I'm going to go backstage. I'm going to do that thing with instant replay, the Scardy replay, we should call it.
The
Scardy replay is a good name for it
Awesome,
because it
yeah.
makes it go slow. Scardy. Slow effect.
What if I want to go
like that.
fast?
I don't know.
Scotty.
Just don't make me cast double time again. That was hard.
No, that was fun.
No, that was
We're,
not
we're going to
fun.
do
We're
that.
going to get that in somewhere here, Andy. But before we do, we're going to go to the match, and Andy's going to bring it to you, joined by Pyrian and Bruno, of course, and I'll be back with the instant replay afterwards. It's Virtus.Pro against Team Liquid.
Welcome back, everyone. Getting into the first game of the day. VP versus Team Liquid. Bruno, you're now over here joining us. You're standing between the very casually dressed
Oh my
and
goodness.
the kind of casually dressed. So, Team Liquid, they first pick a hero that we haven't really been seeing a lot of here.
No, but also a hero that I love how Volvo plays.
Yeah.
You can say that the current way everyone plays this hero was kind of invented by Volvo.
Well, he invented me.
He invented you.
You know that, right?
Come on, tell me the story.
Okay, so it's a really short story. Basically, one day, Sam, he was supposed to co-commentate with AC, right, for the It's Gosu's Monthly Madness, the first tournament that Aaron ever did for Dota 2, and he couldn't be there.
Oh,
So he told me that I should co-commentate with
and
Aaron.
who were you?
I was no one.
10
You were no
seconds
one.
remaining.
Sam made me.
Created you, like out
Now
of
everyone
play.
knows. It's out
seconds
there in the
remaining.
open. I can't take it back now. It's over.
Like Frankenstein creating Frankenstein's
But if he
monster.
made you, he could have
Time.
given you a little bit more hair.
Yeah, that's true.
Sam's
Fucking
got
Sam.
quite a bit of hair to spare.
He does, actually.
Yeah.
He does indeed.
He
But
wears a hat a lot. He could wear the hat and give you the hair. You could do some kind of a timeshare, a hair timeshare.
I speak for the tree.
That would
if it's
have
not a thing, it should be.
It's
Team
called
Liquid's
wigs.
turn
Okay,
to
that's
ban.
It's not the same, Bruno.
What about Locks for Love or something like that? People always tell me they're going to
yeah.
donate to that for me, and then I feel like
But how do you, like, I never understood, how do you put that in your
Virtus.Pro's
hair?
Turn to ban.
I don't know. I think it's just like hair grafts and stuff. And you just like totally knocked my microphone away when you did.
Oh.
I'm just gonna
It's
casually
fine,
put
you don't
this
need that.
back. Yeah, it's fine. But let's get back into the draft here because we're getting a little bit off topic. And Virtus.Pro, they start themselves off with a Clockwork Pugna. So
Team
that hero who
Liquid's
stands
turn
frontline.
to
This is the
ban.
same combo actually that we saw them running the other day. But the Clockwork was always initiating like behind enemy lines. I don't know if he thought he was like Owen Wilson or something, but he was just always the one who was the farthest away from G as possible.
That was
And then
bad.
G would just die at the
10
beginning of the team
seconds
fight.
remaining.
So if they're running this, I still think the combo of heroes is nice, but I
5
think maybe
seconds
play it a little
remaining.
more geared towards protecting your Pugna instead of just going full YOLO.
You think?
Reserve time.
Maybe.
I don't
I'm
know.
no professional, but Pyrian might know. I don't-
Yeah.
Have you played Clockwork before?
Yeah, I actually played quite a bit of Clockwork. He's a lot of fun. Oddly enough, as a bad player, I like the heroes that make stuff happen, and it either
Yeah.
works or it doesn't. And when it works, people go, "Well done, Pyrian." And when it doesn't, I say, "Oh, it's a tough hero. I'm just trying to learn." So that's why I like to play those guys.
Fair
Well
enough.
done.
Have you played Clockwork ever, Andy?
Oh, I love Clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to say it, actually. I shouldn't say it. I was going to say he was more fun in Han, but then I would get like the whole... I would
It
get
was
like
a
the whole
different
fling
hero.
war.
It was
He
not a square. It
completely
was a
different.
round thing.
It was a circle and it was instant.
Yes.
Which was like broken, beyond broken.
Virtus.Pro's
But Clockwork
turn
is
to
amazing.
ban.
I love playing him. He's actually one of my favorite heroes.
He's awesome.
Except I always play with Tony, and Tony doesn't play anything but Clockwork, so I
Oh,
can
really?
never play it when I'm playing with him. so.
Damn.
And Team Liquid, they've got their older Titan. They're going to be taking the Nature's Prophet now. And
Hola, hola.
this for me
10
is...
seconds remaining.
I don't want to say greedy because Elder Titan is clearly a very good hero, especially during the mid game,
5
and Prophet
seconds
can be,
remaining.
but there's still room to punish lanes whenever you see a Prophet. I feel like you have to be very confident to pick him this early in the draft.
It's funny what you were saying about them not playing great against push, because Pugna and Clockwork can push lanes with the rocket flare, right? So
Well, Pugna's more of a pusher than Clockwork
he is indeed, but I mean, we don't know what the next 3 picks are going to be. Clock can help push with his.
Well, he helps push by deterring the enemies from engaging onto you, because he is a good initiator or counter initiator. So if you ever try to go for somebody, for say the Pugna, which is what we were expecting that duo to do yesterday,
Right.
but
10
didn't end up
seconds
doing,
remaining.
it's really hard to actually just walk straight into them. So
So is that
5
VP's recently
seconds
picked heroes? Look
remaining.
at that.
Yep.
they picked
So-
Riki the other day as well.
They took the Riki, and, well, they took the
Reserve
Pagna as
time.
well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Riki. Well, no, actually,
It's
there's a
banned.
Riki
He's
ban.
been banned.
And there's a Weaver van from
Yeah.
Virtus.Pro. Remembering Universe, maybe. But the way I see it right now, Team Liquid, you have Nature's Prophet, you have Elder Titan. We saw how deadly
Mirana.
the pressing the button R is with
Team
Nature's
Liquid's
Prophet.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have a
Oh,
spirit
yeah.
on people.
If you
It
use
hurts
it
a lot.
right, if you use it right, and Bulldog definitely uses it right. He doesn't use it to farm. He uses it to basically cancel every team fight the other team tries to bring on him.
Well, let's also remember that Koikfa is known for his Nature's Prophet too. I mean, a lot of offliners are known for Nature's Prophet, but if you think of Prophet players, typically it's like Koikfa, Bulldog. Like, those are the two that come to the forefront of your mind, basically, at least if you're me. I'm sure there are other great Prophet
10
players out there.
seconds
Oh, Trixie as well, actually. So I do think that it
5
can work.
seconds
And
remaining.
Pugna, Mirana don't have a lot of HP, so between Elder Titan and Nature's Prophet, ulti, you can
Reserve
burst
time.
pretty heavily. But Virtus.Pro are just going the standard, we're going to pick really strong laning phase heroes. I still think that Pugna is a semi-decent mid. Loses to things like Queen, of course, but then again, who doesn't? Besides, I guess, OD. But still, this is the kind of strategy that I thought that Team Liquid were going to employ. Just pick really strong mid-game or laning heroes that you know you can make a solid transition with and just try to win fights. It feels like VP is actually taking that.
Did we see Dendy pick an OD earlier in the tournament? In the league?
No, I
I don't think so.
think he didn't.
Venom Man.
Pretty sure
Could
he
have sworn
didn't.
we saw an OD at some
We
point.
saw him playing.
Virtus.Pro's turn to pick.
I just remember the Windrunner now because it's really in my head.
I played a Windrunner today and we thought it was Dendy. 'Cause
Really?
he
Was it that good?
Insanely good. I think it was Moskvi or something his name was. It's in my match
Liquid's
history,
turn
but the
to
guy
pick.
was ridiculously good.
You know, it's funny because it went from being Light of Heaven to Dendy.
Yeah.
It slowly transitioned. It's, oh man, this guy's Light of Heaven. As soon as he lands a shackle,
This
okay, this
guy's
guy's Dendy.
Nope, just Bumbo.
But if you saw the highlight earlier, like anyone who wasn't tuning in, it was just Dendy shackles all day. When
Yeah.
we saw him play against VP, it was just like shackle, shackle, shackle,
no,
shackle.
blink shackle.
Yeah,
Blink
blink
shackle.
shackle.
But you're only as good as
But
you're
the
only as
first
good as your
blood
last
wasn't a
shackle,
blink.
you know?
No.
The first blood was just knowing when the creep wave was there and throwing it out,
10
and G
seconds
going, oh,
remaining.
Oh, bummer.
yeah, that kind of sucks. So now, I want to talk about the Shadow Shaman
5
pick a little bit
seconds
because we've
remaining.
already seen Team Liquid's heroes. And Elder Titan, Nature's Prophet, whichever one of those heroes goes in the off lane,
Reserve
you know you
time.
can be a bit greedy with your support because it doesn't really take that much to effectively zone them out. And I feel like VP are going with the safer bet and just sending the Shadow Shaman support like Fnatic did yesterday. Or was it not yesterday? Was it the day before? I can't remember.
I think it was yesterday.
Anyway.
Could have been.
No, it wasn't.
No, yesterday was Navi playing Kuroki.
Yeah, it was
Shadow
Navi,
Shaman.
not Fnatic. Okay,
Yep.
so it was Navi who did it, and Kuro played it,
5
and it worked out
seconds
very well for them
remaining.
because he got to level 6 or 7 without any real pressure being applied to him.
Virtus.Pro's
And I feel like it
turn to
complements heroes
ban.
like Clockwork really well because it still gives you that brick wall kind of a sense where you get to a tower and you're like, how do we really engage into this? Serpent Wards, Pugna Blast, Nether Ward, Clockwork, Cogs. Feels really sketchy to try to fight that if they get a chance to set up. So for me, if
10
I'm Liquid,
seconds
I want an
remaining.
initiator because right now they don't have anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I
5
was looking at the
seconds
screen. So,
remaining.
what do we get, Pyrion? We have a Farmer, which is going probably in the off lane,
Reserve
Nature's
time.
Prophet. We have Elder Titan that can go into the safe lane and
I'd
farm
say
with
mid,
these two.
right? No,
Or he could go mid.
Yeah,
Or
I
he
think
could go
he's-
anywhere he wants.
true.
But now, you can either have a mid,
Yeah.
strong initiator,
Yeah.
or you can have a carry that can also initiate, which is a little bit harder.
I think I'm looking at it, and I could be wrong, but I'm thinking, who's TC going to play in this lineup? And I'm thinking TC tends to play more of a farmer type, so I think we might see someone that he's going to pick there.
But
That's my
TC
pick.
actually does play TC.
TC plays...
TT?
Yeah, ET.
TC, okay.
It used to be
TC is
TC.
ET. It used to be Torn
ET,
Chieftain,
fine.
but you know,
yes,
that whole
yes, yes,
copyright
yes.
thing, you can't really do that.
Of course.
Turn to
Oh, well, maybe he will play him then. But either way, I think Elder Titan mid is pretty legit.
No, it is for sure.
I think Bulba will be like, no, I want to play the hero, man.
yeah, I think
TC,
he
you
will.
can't play.
I was just making the joke. I
Virtus
wasn't
Yeah,
actually.
that's, it was a good joke.
It was.
It was a good joke for me.
It feels like you're just saying that to me out of sympathy
you
now.
had to explain to him because he didn't play Dota 1.
I'm sorry.
And he doesn't know about this amazing hero, the 2-2 warrior.
Yeah, that's true.
But when you will see the 2-2 warrior eventually,
Okay.
you'll be really impressed.
Okay, I look forward to it. Crystal Maiden.
So
Team
Virtus.Pro, they
Liquid's
last pick up
turn
a really
to
strong
pick.
laner, which I think is nice. So now if they actually want to run dual lanes, they can, but they could also run a pretty greedy tri-lane too, if they want to just make sure that the Mirana gets as much farm as possible. But if I'm looking at Team Liquid right now, at least until I see the last hero, my thoughts is defensive tri-lane with a Veno and a Rubik, because what else are those heroes really going to do?
It's going to be complicated. I mean, you can't send them with the Nature's Prophet.
10 seconds
Elder Titan really
remaining.
doesn't need much help.
No,
You can put a Venomancer with him.
5
What are you
seconds
accomplishing?
remaining.
not really
Nothing.
anything.
Nothing. So it's either a tri-lane or 2 rotating supports.
Wow.
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 That is really greedy.
That is really greedy.
That is like, wow, I can't believe you just picked Morphling into those heroes, Greedy. What is a Morphling going to do against these heroes?
I don't know. Farm a lot?
You know,
maybe?
Netherward actually destroys Morphling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Because
can't morph.
you stat morph and you just get eaten alive. So Team Liquid are playing the long game for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Well,
the
they always
question
do.
is,
Speaking of Morphling, 20% win rate.
Yeah, it's because you don't pick a hero who needs a core of 2 items before you can start doing anything against a team that has a Pugna, Shadow Shaman wards, and a Clockwork, because you're just going to lose all of your towers before you get any items.
Incredible.
Now, I'm going to give Team Liquid the benefit of the doubt and say that they can hold this off until TC gets farm.
Okay.
But my gut is that Virtus.Pro are running the I'm going to get all map control in the first 15 minutes of the game,
Right.
and then you're going to lose.
Well, hopefully Morphling doesn't go for Midas,
Oh, man.
because that would be silly.
If he goes for Midas, I think...
Prepare for
You're just going to
battle.
type GG
I
in
think
chat,
I
and that's
might
going to be it. Yep.
Anyway, we're going to hop inside of the game. Everyone's taken up their heroes and such. So for me, Liquid again, this is really sketch because they have a lot of heroes that do almost no damage. They have a Prophet, they have a Rubik. Venomancer's Gale is nice, but they're not putting it in a position where you're really going to be able to gain benefit from galing anybody. They're going to be against an offlane Clockwork, most likely.
I mean, at this point, don't you think maybe it's worth putting 1 point in Poison Sting level 1?
Well, depending on how the lanes shape up, he'll probably hold his point. But
Well,
he
or
didn't
maybe
hold it at
not.
all. He just puts it in straight away. Yeah, so he's got Gale.
Okay. He really wants that 25 damage and the slow.
I don't know if it's really worth it, though.
I find it strange because they just saw
Because
yesterday.
Gale doesn't do tick damage anymore.
Nope, it's just
So
25 damage.
If you Poison Sting, you actually
30
do
seconds
more
to
damage
battle.
with an auto attack
And they
than
saw
a Gale.
yesterday when Sam got completely screwed by EGM's Venoman, so they saw the strength of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
weird.
thing is that if you go for Gale, you're aiming for a kill.
Yeah.
If you Gale, you need the kill. If you Gale and don't get the kill, you A, are out of mana, B, are out of a useful skill.
Yeah.
If you just want to harass your lane, you can go with Poison Sting.
Yeah.
The thing is that if the Clockwork is smart enough, he can always zone you out with the Cogs.
Yeah.
It's going to be complicated. And maybe
battle
I'm looking at the
begins.
Clockwork right now and where he's standing. And I think he's going to do the block.
Yeah, it looks
they were
like.
doing it the other day, I
Double
think.
damage.
Maybe not VP themselves, but I saw A-Team doing it the other day.
They set up for this level 1 gank and the long farm with morph. But so wait, so every single time he morphs,
You get hit
You
by
get
another
hit
word.
by another voice. Like,
there's 30 per second, so he will take, well, at
That's
least
kind of
30
a
per
fail
second from the wall.
block.
That's crazy.
Well, even if he only blocks 1, the purpose is to make sure that the wave goes back even farther because the full creep wave's not going to be here, which means that obviously it's going to push. So he just wants it a bit closer to his tower. And this is a tri-lane that can kill him. If he gets scaled and they save telekinesis for the cogs, they can first blood him. So it is a bit safer to play it this way. And you can't lane control when there's 1 less creep. That's another thing, because you can't deny hard enough to make the lack of creep disappear. So
Fair enough. Now, looking at the Morphling, and here, he's going to have...
Arrow, top lane. Koikfa taking a little bit of damage here from Blow Your Brain. He turns around, starts man fighting, says, I got a creep wave and you don't. Get the heck out of here.
Doesn't even trade. Even though Blow started using the arrow at the beginning, Kog'Maw didn't have to use anything, just right clicks, and that's enough. I was going to ask about the Morphling. Morphling is clearly having an easy lane, because Light of Heaven is not going to be very annoying to him, especially with his 2 supports around. Do you think it's actually worth it to just skip Morph and leave it at level 1 and just maxing the other 2 skills? Or
No.
you really want that Morph?
No, you
anyways?
want a max morph here. Like, even though Nether Ward is going to destroy you, the problem is this. By the time you get to mid-game, VP are going to be playing super aggressive just because of their lineup. Inherently, that's what it's going to do. So if you don't have morph maxed, your survivability is just nothing, right? Like, you just die straight away from getting decrepified, arrowed, God forbid, and you just turn into a pile of very sad water. So I think you still probably go
Pile
the
of
standard.
tears.
Yeah, pile of tears.
Puddle, I'd say.
Pile of anything that's not what you should be. It's bad.
Puddle of Tears. Sound like
make
a
me a
rock band
make
name.
me a pile of water when we get home. I'd like to see it.
Pile of water. Well, maybe if you have a pile-shaped recipient.
Yeah, you can actually make a pile of water. It's called ice.
Well, then that's ice, Draskell.
No, but it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's still technically water.
Uh-oh, Arsart is
when you
going
get
for
a
Jails
Kog'Maw.
himself. Oh, I think they get him
Oh,
here.
they've got
At this point, I
He's
don't...
eating his way through the trees. He wants
Oh,
to.
nice.
Oh, he wastes the
Nice.
arrow. Now the full creep wave's going to be hitting Arsart with the tower. This is definitely a mistake.
is
Koikfa, he turns around. Man's fight
First blood.
could be first blood. Koikfa, he will be dropping here to blow your brain. But that was a. Why would you throw the arrow before you can see it?
I don't know. He
End.
kind of thought that he wasn't moving. Maybe thought he was trying to teleport away. Wanted to
Yeah.
secure and avoid the teleport.
was-
Jumped the gun.
It was good quick reactions eating through that tree.
Yeah.
That was his
I'm
last
still
tango.
like- I'm still like, there's no way he channels that teleport that fast.
You don't know. When you stop seeing him,
Koikfa?
you assume that he... Well,
He wanted the courier.
He wanted the courier, but
Yeah.
the courier is too late.
Or he just
No,
wants to tower
oh,
dive mid because
that's
Waitu's
really
here.
good.
G. He's dead.
Well,
that's a telekinesis
4
into
people.
a Gale. That's where he like starts pinging and says team. Staple gun. Oh, Koikfa gets the kill. Very nicely executed there.
So soon.
It's very easy to get complacent when you're in your lane when you know that your creep wave is out in front of you because you think to yourself, oh, they're not going to tower dive me because the tower is really hurt at this stage in the game, which is why Arsark got first blooded. So use the trees to dive, especially right after you revive, because no one really expects that. People kind of forget that there's a Nature's Prophet on the map sometimes. You just have that lapse in judgment where you can just get caught out. So very nicely done by Team Liquid, and they take a kill lead.
Do you think it's worth it though, moving 4 heroes to get G at this point of the game?
I do think it's worth it because Light of Heaven still can't really get anything. What is he going to do against a Morphling? The Morphling has ridiculous base damage. He's only morphed a couple of stats, but he still hits for 73. The Clockwork can't sit up here that comfortably, and he doesn't have any vision except around the river. But that doesn't do anything if the other team smokes. So he basically can't see anything. He assumes if they're not pulling that they might be trying to gank him, so he still has to play passive.
Well, the rune is up top. I need to regen, but they are going for Bulba now. There is a rotation, but Bulba patiently. What?
Shackle.
Well, no, maybe not so patiently.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
Really
To
close,
attack
actually.
17 hit
Under
points. 17.
Everything calculated in his mind. G gets the regen, and now he can be spam happy.
That's really nice, actually, for a Pugna.
The best rune you can get as a Pugna, pretty much.
Yep.
Just shove the lane so incredibly hard, and Morano
Blow using because
yeah,
Roger-
Light of Heaven. Getting dove bottom. TC's
TC.
really low.
Attack a creep.
He's converting
TC.
his stats right now. I think he's fine. He's gonna have to salve up.
Yeah, but he's salving while full strength morph, which is
No,
highly
he wasn't
inefficient.
full strength more.
Well, he's a lot of.
Dying to Ancients because he was getting chased out by G and NS. Nice deny. Not bad.
That's yeah.
I mean, honestly, he probably could have just walked to the side and stood there, and they probably wouldn't have known he was there.
At the same time, he got a free TP to the base.
Just think of how effective the standstill juke was for Alliance yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, that juke worked out really well.
You can't get rid with those 2 days in a row.
All right, maybe not. Maybe not. But we haven't really talked a whole heck of a lot about the supports on the side of VP because, well, I mean, it's a greedy lane, so you expect the heroes to kind of just be getting a bit of farm. But NS has been doing his jungle thing. He's 1-1-1, so he's Frostbite jungling and making sure that he's finding something. And I think that Crystal Maiden is one of the few heroes that actually works in this position now.
Why?
Well, because she can actually jungle.
Well, but
And your aura
many
still
other
gives
people.
benefit to other
Radiant's
lanes.
middle
Enigma can also
tower is under
jungle.
attack.
Axe can also jungle, and we
No,
don't
but
see
I'm
any
talking
axes.
like a support. Like a pure support hero, not a jungler who can self-sufficiently farm.
How about Axe support? You go Axe and you buy mech, and you buy.
It's no fun,
Arcane.
Bruno, I'll tell you that.
Axe jungle is not that good anymore
Why not?
because they broke Tranquils. I mean, they broke Tranquils for junglers. They're better for supports, but now they're bad for junglers because now you need to buy items that you don't
Vanguard,
really
like
want
old
to buy.
time,
No, man.
old school. Well, but then you can go.
Well, so
mech.
it always occurs to me that, like, Axe's best skill in the laning phase, to me, is battle hunger. If
Right,
I'm in the
it is.
jungle, it's stupid
Dire's
of me to
middle
waste
tower
all
is
that. So
under
I like to
attack.
get in a lane with someone, and you just make them hungry, 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 hungry hippos, and every time you do it, you make them cry.
Yeah, but you just jungle and then pop out and like, hey, but
Yeah, but you
Bye-bye.
don't pop out as often as you can in lane. Get a Crystal Maiden with you. Crystal Maiden Axe. Sad times for whoever you're up against.
But then Crystal Maiden can jungle. And we're saying that she was really good at jungle.
Well, she's a heck of a lot better than the other hard supports at jungling, that's for sure. I mean, she's level 4.
Also,
Light of Heaven-
if you catch her in the jungle, she's dead meat.
Well, it was just 1 point in cost.
Yeah, but they're not going to catch her, that's the point. Because they know that the supports are primarily going to be roaming on mid because they already killed G once. And when your tri-lanes dodge each other, the typical movement is going from the safe lane to middle, not from the safe lane to the other safe lane, because it's too much time that you waste, and it's risky. If you don't make anything happen, well, then you've spent a lot of time doing a whole heck of a lot of nothing.
But I'm putting the axe up in the tough lane.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this game.
I see. I thought
You
we
were saying
talking
that
in
Crystal
general.
Maiden just dies if somebody ganks her in the
Well, we're
woods,
theorizing.
which is true,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying the reason that he can do it in this game is because of the way the lanes
Dire's
work.
middle
Didn't say
tower
that.
is under attack.
I did say
No,
that.
you didn't.
That's just what that's literally what I just
You
said.
just said that now.
All right, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
No ice cream on the way home.
Okay.
Aw.
Don't you mean
Can I get
water
ice cream?
cream?
All right, you know what? We'll stop at McDonald's. I'll get Bruno ice cream, but no one else. Tell him he
Yay,
needs to.
G doesn't get any ice
G,
cream.
Gale, here
What?
comes the punch. He's teleporting out. Bulba turns around. He doesn't hit him.
What?
He had a DD and he turned and then got frostbitten. What in the heck?
What?
Mirana ult. Didn't it? Was the fade time long? He was Mirana ulted.
No, he was Moran ulted, but you don't fade that fast.
No.
2.5 seconds. He was decrept as well. He was decrept. That takes 2 seconds. So he had a half-second window, I think.
I think he
Unless
panicked
I'm seeing it
when he
wrong.
saw the decrep. He just turned because he thought they might not be able to get the kill. But I think he still gets that auto there.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. I love Sam. Teleport.
G gets away with it.
Cancels.
Yeah, NS. Just there. 2 points in aura. Still very, very weak early game potential for Crystal Maiden in terms of damage output. Just 1 point in Crystal Nova and 1 point in Frostbite.
Yeah, but they don't need it.
Can you waveform out of Frostbite? I think you can.
Yes, you can. You can still cast spells.
Well, you can't cast Blink, for example.
Well, he doesn't really blink, does he?
Exactly. That's why I was asking. Certain movement spells you can't cast. Certain you can. Waveform is the one that can get you away. So no point in actually leveling that Frostbite
Briefcase. Briefcase.
No.
Briefcase.
No.
Briefcase.
Staple.
Final
Staple.
briefcase.
Okay.
It
Now that
wouldn't
we've
take
got that
5
out of our
hits to
system,
kill someone with a
it doesn't
staple.
matter how many times you say it. It's not going to change the straw poll in your favor.
Oh, that's bloody straw poll ruined me.
Look, you're the one who brought it up in the first place, so you
Yeah,
have
but
to
I
take
didn't
your
bring
own
up the
medicine
straw
on this
poll.
one.
You could rub that in. So when you ask for a drink and you say, I'd like it cold, you say, I'd like some water in that, please. Just put a pile of water in there.
Arsart is getting...
Oh, arrow.
The arrow
Actually misses pretty much
dodges.
everyone. Arsar's just going to be dropping here.
Fluff. Blow. Did he jump? No, he still has the lead, so he's fine.
But there is a TP reaction. NS and G are both here. Blow Your Brain doesn't have his arrow, though, and Way 2's got Gale in about 7 seconds. There's a Decrepify, Starstorm, and the Suck.
Now this is interesting because with G having the crab, Mirana is a carry that has a lot of magic damage potential.
Yes.
And all the other heroes, if you see the Shadow Shaman has the Fork Lightning, Crystal Maiden of course, the Crystal Maiden. There's lots of potential for lots of magic damage as well. Light of Heaven, just being chased by Morphling a little bit, but nothing happens. Morphling doesn't really want to kill Light of Heaven, he just wants to farm.
Yeah.
And now we get into this point. Okay, you are Morphling, you're doing pretty well. Well, you may want to kill
Teleport,
Light of
bottom
Heaven.
tier 1, Light of Heaven stuck inside of the Sprout. The Cogs bring TC inside.
Yikes.
I don't even know how the heck that works. Teleport coming in from G. He's got a haste. He wants TC. TC has 6 wand charges. Should be able
By
to
something,
waveform over
TC.
the edge. Oh no, that damage! He didn't even wand. Holy. I thought you wand straight away there so you can make it to the edge of the, Ancients and then waveform over, but he just got exploded.
Yep. Again, lots of damage just because of that Decrepify. And that seems to be BP's playstyle. We have some heroes that can deal a lot of magic damage, and when we get to late game, Mirana is still kind of troublesome. We saw how annoying Pugna is, even in the late game, when he gets the Axe Scepter on that
Dire's top tower
and starts
is
sacking off
under
people
attack.
without any
Yeah.
cooldown.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is really tough. The one concern that I have for Liquid right now is that
Oh, he misses the
Light
hook.
of Heaven, miss on the
Dire's
hook, yeah.
middle
Arrow
tower
gonna hit
is
the creep
under
wave,
attack.
so not gonna see any action coming out of that one. But if you're VP, if the laning phase goes even, it's better for you because you know your team's gonna reach their most momentous state faster than Liquid, right? So if
Morphling.
Liquid has good farm on Morphling, and he might be getting siege under the tower
Yeah.
here to Decrepify
This is very
and the
dead
Hex. I don't know if he actually dies here. Morph is very good at the beginning of the game in terms of survivability. Double TP. Actually, second one's cancelled, so Bulba just stays mid. I think that's a good call.
Yeah. And now they just have to go back.
And I don't know about this movement from Virtus.Pro. Their Shadow Shaman's not 6 yet. That's what I was going to say is, once that hero hits 6, that's when you start pressuring.
Radiant's
So,
top tower
I mean,
is
mid
under
dies for that.
Look at that. Pugna's level 10 already.
That's
Dire's
pretty
middle
strong.
tower is under
How
attack.
about-
He's 2 and 1.
How about ET?
He's level 9.
He's level 9.
But he got the tier 1.
Yeah.
So honestly, I feel as
pretty
though
even, right?
Liquid, in that particular exchange, they gained something because the supports wasted quite a bit of time. And they didn't get anything, and they lost their tier 1 middle at 11 minutes into the game as a push type of a lineup, which is not ideal at all.
At the same time, Pugna has now a mech, so they can start pushing much more aggressively. Even if Shadow Shaman is not level 6, you just put him in the push, you will probably get the tower just because of the Nether Blast. And by the second tower, you will have the wars. And maybe just get 2 towers in a row, start to get a little bit more map control, get that Mirana roaming into that jungle, getting some farm in the jungle as well, farming heroes, and just not letting TC farm as much as he has all game.
You know, it's weird. You were just saying that, but Arsart now, he was mid. He could have stayed there for just another couple of creeps. He would have got level 6, but no, he's going to spend another 30 seconds wandering bot. It's kind of weird. Yeah, you just think, just get 6.
Well, they could be doing this because there's a lot of heroes making the transition down, and Light Heaven has an invis, so potentially they could go for a kill here. Fluff standing guard over TC,
They
right
know.
behind him. Mirana ulti, yeah, I think they saw that, or maybe they didn't. They kind of backed away from the creep wave, but no, they're onto something. TC uses his waveform though.
It's 8 seconds.
He doesn't have a lot of. Oh, he has arcane boots. Never mind. I was gonna say he doesn't have a lot of wand charges, but yeah, arcanes will bring you back up to full mana.
Yeah, and Moonlight Shadow is out now, and they saw where they
Yeah.
are.
No, they didn't see that.
No, they didn't see her, but BP now
saw
saw.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, TC hook shot
Fluff,
onto Fluff.
lift.
Lift's gonna be
Get away.
there. Is he gonna be able to steal anything? Level 1 battery assault, not the best spell. Here comes the Decrepify,
Use
and
it.
the Nether Blast will get the kill. So
Pop. And now with this tower as well.
I think it's okay to make these movements so long as you kill a hero, just so you know that you can
Radiant's
go
bottom
for
tower
a tower
is under
immediately
attack.
after. And fake teleports on top. Well, your brain gets clipped by the Gale.
Oh,
Boy goes
nice,
right
Boy,
behind
wow.
him. Arrow's going to be there. Teleport coming in from NS. See if the Crystal Maiden can try to get some kind of a kill.
Wow,
Earth
the
Splitter
damage.
even going to be used. And NS walks into the Earth Splitter.
Top tower is
Why
under
it
attack.
is? Why?
What? So,
Not
Team
only-
Liquid. Not bad.
Not only into the Earth Splitter, but also just next to Bulba. So he got all the extra damage from the aura.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So, ouch. Be careful. Do not stand next to the big guy with the stapler.
It's really painful to get hit by that thing. The thing that I'm really questioning is why would he walk that close when he knew? Like, you have to know Blow Your Brain is dead there. There's nothing you can do to save him. He's sprouted. The Earth Splitter has a 100% chance to hit because he doesn't have leap. And then you're like, hey guys, how's everyone doing? Oh, this isn't my party. Wrong house.
Maybe this is the moral feed. Instead of like the tactical feed, it's more of a feed so that you don't feel alone in your feed. You know, it's both our fault. It's not
look,
just you,
Dire's
it's
top
us.
tower
Morale.
is under attack.
Yeah. Morale, yeah.
Yeah.
Morale feed, not
Moral
moral.
feed would be
Moral.
like, this is the right thing to do.
Well, kind of as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's the moral thing to do, to
Yeah.
die next to my carry.
Morally speaking, we must
We should
feed.
mention that it was still a tier 1 for a tier 1. So it wasn't like a total disaster for VP. But this is a stage in the game where their team is supposed to be about as strong as it's going to get. The later the game goes, the more room Koikva is going to be able to create on his Prophet, who already has Midas, Shadowblade, and Phase at 15 minutes. We were
No.
talking about his Prophet before. His Prophet is very, very good. And then you have TC, who's getting really close to a Lincoln's. So once the Lincoln's is done, he needs one extra item, and then he can start fighting. And
Yeah.
that's when VP is going to start going, okay, we probably should have gotten more during our early game, because up until this point, they have one tier 1 tower.
Yep. Way 2 just runs away. There were 3 people trying to gank him, and
Well,
well, he just goes away. Lots of time invested by Virtus.Pro to get that. Nothing happens. Maybe they will want to push this tier 1 tower now that Arsat has the ultimate finally. They can get this top tier 1 tower. I don't think Liquid have a very, very good team to play against those wards at this moment.
Yeah, right, not right now. Once the Morphling gets a little bit tankier, then
Yeah.
he can be the one to go in and take most of that damage. But
VP
you're right.
gonna take this top tower, I think.
Radiant's top
Yeah.
tower
And they
is
won't
under
even need the
attack.
wards, I think.
Yeah.
Experian, we didn't just both
Dire's
say that.
bottom tower is
Sorry, I
under
was watching
attack.
that.
Oh, the arrow? Hitting? Oh, man.
Oh,
Oh,
way
way
too.
2.
Way
Come
too,
on.
please.
No, way 2. Wake up. Wake up. You're
can't.
not dead.
Oh, now he's dead.
What? Ah.
Bam.
Tower is under
That blast
attack.
does 365
Radiant's
damage
top
if you
tower has
decrepify.
fallen.
That is actually an absurd amount of damage.
And as well, think about Ether Shot. That does 320 plus the
Oh, look.
decrypt.
That spirit getting lots of damage. The Lincoln's there.
Radiant's top tower is under
I like
Oh,
this
the
by
arrow
VP,
again?
though.
Arrow?
Nah, it's not,
Not
going to hit anybody
connecting
this time.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower.
But this is a really
under
nice move
attack.
because they realize, hey, we don't have to waste our wards for the tier 1, just get 2 towers back to back. And this is a type of potential that we're looking to see. But Team Liquid are counter-pressuring the bottom tier 2. Blow Your Brain's going to be the first one to teleport back. And TC and Quakefoot are both here, but they can't really kill this on their own. So VP, they turn a foiled gank into 2 towers, not bad.
And that's what they have to do with this team. Every single time you get a good team fight in your way or you get a kill in your way, just go for the towers. You get that tier 1, tier 2, still tier 1 mid standing, and that should be their next target. Because once you remove that, without all the other tier 1s and just even one less tier 2, Liquid has so little map control, and they really need some space for that Morphling because, as you said, he got the Lincoln, but he needs something else.
Another Morana ulti going to be used here top. They want to try to find somebody farming right. Oh god, it's going to be way
Way
too.
too.
No, way too.
Way too, no.
Why?
Decrepify this zap.
That was nice because you know someone's going to come and push that lane out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So come and catch them. That's smart.
And they were like, you know what, way too, you go. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everything's safe up here. No Moranas on the other team.
Well, they kind of wanted Volva, I guess. At this point, he's the guy you want to kill rather than the Venomancer.
I feel like doing that kind of a gank, though, in that lane when the tier 2's already dead is... I mean, it's okay,
Pointless.
but it doesn't really give you anything, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I was talking before, is if you get a kill, you have to make it count. Right now, that is just delaying farm of a better Mansa that's not getting any farm.
He gets slowed. Nice movement.
Nice.
Walks the other way.
jukes.
Sachets
That's
out
the
of there.
standard. I'm going to go the other direction juke. Very high level.
Worked out for them very well. And
So-
now, yeah,
I was going to say,
sure.
we have Boyer Brain and Marana, right? He's been involved in 3 kills. This has been a pretty passive game. It's 13 kills in 18 minutes, so less than a kill a minute. If I'm Marana and I finish my Faith Boots and my drums, I just want to start fighting like then, like, you know, right now, fight, because Marana does so much damage just because of her abilities. Arrow, if you're able to land it, Starstorm. They're going to go down mid, pop the Shadow Shaman ward. Sid, wait till they get hit by that. Oh my god, and he's going to get hooked. But Light of Heaven has very low level battery assault, so he's not really doing that much damage. He will eventually go down. A way 2 is not even going to drop there. They will be able to secure the tier 1 in the meantime. They go 1-for-1 exchange. Looks like Fluff was the one who died in the side of Liquid. But yeah, when you don't level battery assault, you don't really kill supports.
Farm those wards. Give them the money.
Look at that money.
It's a lot of money.
That's, well, yeah.
Right now, it's about 300 gold every time you kill them all, because it's 10 and they give 30 gold in average.
Right.
That's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm gonna give you a counterpoint on what you were saying before about the Mirana just going fighting immediately. When you have 4 other heroes that can push really, really well, you don't need the Mirana in those pushes. As long as you have the Rasta and the Shadow, the Shadow Shaman and the Pugna, you're fine. So if those 4 heroes are pushing towers and creating space, as a Mirana, it's okay to farm a little bit more. Maybe you can just say, okay,
I
I can
disagree.
get something more.
So if it
disagree.
goes to the late game, do you not think it would be nice to have Marana with some items and things?
My whole point
G.
is you don't want to go late game. G getting caught here in the meantime. Sprout's going to be there. Earth Splitter off the mark. Orchid damage going to be enough to seal Quake for another kill. He is now on that dominating streak. But here's my counterpoint to that counterpoint. Right?
Okay.
If you're a Marana, you know you're never going to outcarry TC in a million years, no matter what. Because TC got a safe lane, you know he's going to find his farm. He had no pressure at all. Assuming the same farm, Morphling wins the fight 10 out of 10. Now, I know it's a 5 versus 5 game, but you shouldn't go into it with the mentality of, let's try to outcarry the hero that we know we shouldn't outcarry. Let's go for items that allow us to fight, and as soon as we're capable of fighting, we fight until we win.
Okay, counterpoint to your counterpoint of my counterpoint,
Okay.
which is, given the same items, Morphling out strength. How do you say?
Outcarries.
Outcarries. Right.
Oh,
Fair enough.
speaking of TC,
Yeah.
gets air in the face. Hookshot going to be there on Bulba, but Bulba's got a BKB. He's going to drop the Echo Stomp, and now Light of Heaven gets the staple gun to the face. That really hurt.
Punch
Chi
it.
teleports into the tier 2. Liquid seem to be on retreat right now. They do drop a sentry on the high ground, so Marana is not going to do much of anything. The Nether Ward is dropped. Way 2 goes in, gets a decent Poison Nova before falling. NS, he's trying to juke his way out, and Waveform in from TC right on a G. It's a double kill right now for the Morphling, and he's going to be able to make it out of here. Blow doesn't have lead for another couple of seconds, and Quakefa, he also finds NS in the woods. Arthur gets the kill on Fluff, but he's going to be dropping himself. Waveform back in by TC, interrupts on the Shackle. It's a triple for TC. Quakefa, he's juking around the Shadow Shaman wards. Boyer Brain goes back in. He gets Orchid, but it's a 700 gold streak for Boyer Brain. A very messy fight all in all, and even though Liquid, they don't get the tower, they still got TC a triple kill, so I'm feeling that's a win for them.
Arsard hexed the crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
sure
has the
did.
crepe, and then he's like, oh, oops, and then I'm going to Shackle Quakefa.
Yeah, that was a little bit awkward.
It happens.
But
The
yeah,
best of us.
it was a great fight for Liquid, I think.
Yeah, it was. TC got 3 kills. Now he's 4-1. He's up to 2,300 gold in addition to his Lincolns.
That's a lot of gold. But what I was saying is, given the same farm, Morphling outcarries the Mirana. But if you have a team that can push and can create extra farm just because you're pushing those towers, the Mirana can get to that first big item, say a Manta, before Morphling can maybe just have his Lincoln, which clearly is kind of what's happening right now. They have the Manta, Morphling just have the Lincoln, he doesn't have his next item. I think this is the moment where Mirana can just abuse the power. But we'll see.
We will see. I just think that it's weird to have the mentality of let's try to outfarm the better hero with farm. I know what you're saying, like if you have the space,
Koiva.
he gets Orchid, hookshot in. TC gonna be trapped inside of Cogs. I don't really think he cares that much about it. Gonna throw out the adaptive G. He's barely alive, but he uses his drain on the Lincolns, and Fluff with this stolen hookshot. He gets the kill. G, if he had drained anyone else, maybe he lives like 3 seconds longer, but I still think he dies there.
Yeah. Again, another kill that I think was to... Oh no, it went to Rubik. I thought it was to... Yeah.
I guess if you're going to die, it's better to die sucking someone off than
That's
not.
true. Well, you're the one with the line around your house.
Hey,
Yeah.
I worked my way through that line diligently last night. Nobody was left standing.
God. PG-13, man. Jesus Christ.
I
What
was
if your
not-
That's
kids,
nothing.
told that. James
what if
said
your
it's
kids are
worse.
watching?
Go to bed.
Oh,
Echo
the sleep.
stop. Hits Light of Heaven. They just want to kill the tower, though. That's fine. Denial attempt from NS, but
Yeah,
it's a
very
Crystal
optimistic.
Maiden.
Has fallen.
It's
Very,
64
very
damage. Not bad.
Dire's
I think a couple play wars can outdamage her right now.
She got nice hair. That's a nice set.
Yeah, she's pretty.
I really have to say, though, even though VP might have made a couple of misplays, Team Liquid have been having a fantastic game. Like, their team fights have been pretty much spot on. Way 2 ate a couple of arrows, died a few times.
Dire's
That's
top
standard
tower
Way 2
is
play.
under
Like,
attack.
everyone knows he's like the Trixie of Liquid. I'm going to keep using that analogy
Yeah.
until it sticks. People just understand what you mean when you say that. It's not saying the player's bad. It's just saying that the player sometimes feeds. You know, everyone feeds.
Yeah. The
So
space
trendy.
creator of
Yeah,
the team.
space created.
So TC right now, 3.2k gold. Do you go for a butterfly here? Oh, Bulba, what were you thinking?
Bulba, I really think they go on this. Bulba does have a BKB, though. We'll be able to pop it really soon. Oh, so close. NS, he used a telekinesis. This is definitely
Nice.
Virtus.Pro's fight to take. A really interesting cog.
Oh,
Pops the blade
nice.
mail. They used wards on Fluff. I don't know if that was really necessary. And there's a buyback, actually, from Bulba. I don't really know why.
Dire's bottom
I don't think they're
tower
going to be
is under
walking into that
attack.
tower again anytime soon.
No, they are.
Well, maybe they are, actually. It's pretty low.
You want to take that tower. If you get that tower, you get full control of their jungle.
What? Maelstrom?
Well, why not?
Maelstrom?
It's push.
It is push, but you can just get something like a Deso.
But
And
Deso
Desolator
doesn't
works
push.
so... What? Deso definitely pushes.
Well, pushes towers, but not creeps. Like,
Yeah, but what if your RNG is really bad and then you just don't get any Maelstrom procs?
well, maybe his RNG is really good, and that's
Yeah,
why
Maybe he's RNGesus.
Trust to the RNG god.
RNG god.
Oh, there's a sentry right there, so they definitely see
well-
him. And there's more sentries.
Oh,
That's
no.
going to be used. Quick Fit getting caught out. Orchid onto Arsart. Going to see the freezing field as well, and he just dies.
Bye-bye.
So,
Your black
Yeah,
crown.
sentries are strong.
optimistic TP. But now that makes Bulba's buyback pretty much useless, which really hurts them.
Oh, and now they see this.
Yeah, they walked right past 2 sentries. Way 2 goes for the TP. We'll be able to make it out.
TC Spirit, it was
Still
going.
go for
They
it.
think it's him because it's a replicate.
Aha.
Oh, yeah,
Because
the
replicates
replicant.
take the same amount of damage as a normal hero, so...
They're so annoying, those things.
What if you could have a replicate
Dire's
resistance
top
and
tower
HP
is
with the
under
damage of a
attack.
Chaos Knight Phantasmal Illusion?
That would be kind of imbo, don't you think?
Well, maybe if you get one of those,
Well, he does get one.
give him a lot of cooldown.
It's already a pretty long cooldown. 80 seconds is fairly long.
Meh.
I mean, Phantasm is longer, but it's also 3 illusions when you get to level 16.
Yeah.
And they're all
And
extremely
they don't last
powerful.
that much.
Yeah. But CK is one of those heroes where you just like, you win a team fight and then your base just disappears.
Yeah.
It's like, well, everything's dead. GG. And that's kind of the point where we're getting to in this game, where Liquid... Morphling's going to have an E-Blade soon. Or I guess he could go for a Butterfly. It wouldn't be terrible here, just because they don't have any physical damage to kill him.
Yep.
But then again, he didn't go BKB. So if he doesn't have a BKB, then a Butterfly doesn't seem
The thing
as
is,
good.
he's going to get decrept anyway.
Yeah, of course.
So,
But
you
Decrepify and E-Blade stack.
do they?
Yeah. I think it's multiplicative. I don't think it's additive.
Ooh, multiplicative.
I think it is.
Almost as much
multiplicative
fun as
is
I could
correct
be
words.
wrong on that, actually.
I
Yeah,
thought
it
they
is
were.
worse.
I thought they were the same debuff in Dota 1. So
They are, but in Dota 2
in
it's
Dota
not.
2 they're done.
Yeah.
Damn.
Multiplicative.
Multiplicative.
I think it's something like 25% extra.
But then you have
With
the
that added
Rubik
on.
aura making you stronger.
That's true. 20% magic resist is nothing to shake a stick at. Well, in this case, 15 because he doesn't have it maxed out,
But
but
he's gonna get there.
eventually. But yeah, once he gets E-Blade, Crystal Maiden, and G especially, well, I guess G still has 1400 health, but
Anime.
Shadow Shaman, actually, wow, he has 1200 health. How did he manage to get a point booster and an Ogre Club?
He's going for an Axe.
Push meta, man.
Axe is legit in Shadow Shaman.
It still never ceases to amaze me how much farm supports have in these games now because of the extra gold that you get, and the kill gold now is just insane. So now people have these really, really good item progressions even on supports.
And then chuck a bounty hunter in there or something. It's like
Yeah.
money.
Not your bounty hunter.
Not my bounty hunter.
but a bounty
Not
hunter.
the one that James and Scriff were shouting at me about earlier.
I'm sure James will bring it up after the
I
game.
swear to God, there was no
Dire's
way to
top
track that
tower
Ricky.
has
There was
been
no way.
denied.
We
It was
watched
all
the replay.
Wagamama's fault.
It was Wagamama's fault. He played his Broodmother. He bought 2 rapies. He threw them both.
And not on both at the same time.
Was he streaming that game?
Yeah, actually, I don't think he was. No.
Well,
When he
just
streams,
between
he plays
us,
better.
I blame him.
Yeah, God, I blame him so hard.
Between us, no one else.
No one else. No one's watching.
Okay.
14-14. This is a very deceiving scoreboard.
It
Liquid
is.
and BP, they seem to be very even in terms of kills, but that's not the real story. Even in towers, Liquid only has one more tower. But
Oh, NS. Rest in peace. Yeah, that was the, oh yeah, now the Morphling has an E-Blade moment where you're a support, and even though he has a point booster and an urn, which give a pretty decent chunk of HP, doesn't matter.
it's not enough.
And the funny thing is, TC's not even on full agi.
No, he still has quite a lot of strength. And also the funny thing is, looking at the new shotgun, well, I mean, I say new, the shotgun that we have since after TI2,
Right.
feels so clumsy. It used to be like, all together.
Then,
Right now it's,
I think they now realize they got to
see
kill him.
TC. TC's just kind of doing his own thing. They have to,
TC.
I guess, shackle, then hex.
Oh.
No, they did it the opposite way. They're going to use the shackle. TC's trying to strength convert, and he will be able to live through this.
machine
The Nether Ward
gun.
doing some damage. He's going to run right into Blow Your Brain. Now he's going to pull out the replicate. Does he live through this? He needs to micro the Mirana away if he wants to be able to escape, or maybe not. His E-Blade came back up. They're still continuing to chase. He doesn't have any stats left to convert. He's going to go for a very optimistic TP.
No.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
I thought if he just kept on running, he might have got there.
No, he's not very fast. Morphling is actually one of the slowest heroes in the game.
285 Ace, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, he's very slow.
What happens if you waveform up a cliff or something, like into a bunch of trees?
Well, you could do that, but you could still potentially be seen, which is also
Oh,
a problem.
they just
Gonna see
dropped
ya. NS.
Crazy made it.
NS just drops there. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, not having a really good game. I mean, it's not his fault you're playing a really weak support hero, but he's been picked off a lot. I think he's going for a very greedy kind of I want to farm stance into the game, which against someone as movable as Koitva, it's not gonna work.
He now has a BKB, by the way. Like BKB, Maelstrom, Orchid, Shadowblade, Midas. He is technically 6-slotted. You can go up to a Mjolnir, but I still kind of don't like the Maelstrom.
Would you like a Mjolnir better?
No. I'm just saying, like, I don't like the item choice in general.
What,
Like,
what would you say he should have bought in this spot?
a book or a Desolator. Or maybe even a Daedalus if you wanted
Buy
to
a
go that
book.
route.
Buy a book.
Here's the thing. If you're going to buy a BKB
Intelligent.
because you want to not take a lot of damage from things like Blade Mail or just random stuff that's thrown out like Pugnablast, make your damage the most effective you can in that time. And a Maelstrom is not the most effective damage for how much money he can actually make. If you can afford an MKB, a Daedalus, or a Deso instead of a Maelstrom, which he's a prophet, so he clearly can, I figure you just go for the bigger damage item.
Maybe he wants to give the electric shield to Morphling so that Morphling can jump in the middle of everyone and just game.
But wouldn't that hurt Morphling, though, because he's made out of water? You don't want, like, electricity, like...
No, that would make him
It
even more
doesn't have the
powerful.
water,
You
it
don't
just
want,
travels through it, doesn't it?
you don't
I
want
guess.
to touch electrified water.
Good
That would be
call,
scary.
Bruno. Good call. That's a good message for all the kids at
They
home.
could just strap a
Don't
toaster
touch
to him and just go
electrified
into a
water.
fight.
You will
Would
know
pretty much
when
be
it's
the same
electrified.
Don't touch electrified water, and if you do, stop touching it.
Yeah.
Well, if you get electrified while you're touching the water, can you actually pull your hand away because you're being
No,
electrified?
I have been electrocuted briefly.
So have I.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
did it actually
everyone.
in.
Sucked.
They did it in school. They had like
They
these two little
electrified you?
nodes that you would grab, right? And they would put like amperage through them, and they would let you know what it feels like to be electrified. It,
What
it
kind
just
of
feels
school
weird.
did you go for?
No, I'm talking about an actual.
Well, I mean, you
electric shock.
volunteered. Speaking of electrification, Way 2 is going to get caught here again. Throws out the Poison Nova. Earth Splitter going to be there. Bulba now coming in. Quick
Careful,
fatality.
the arrow.
Forcing us into the kill.
I've liked these arrows, by
The
the
juke
way.
shoes.
I've liked Blow Your Brains arrows today. They've been good.
It is. He's in a pickle.
I can't remember the name of the device they used, but
I think it was just
Torture
you,
device.
Rascal. They just said, look, this
They
is...
put it in the front of the class, and the teacher said, "Does anybody want to get electrocuted?" And I was obviously, I'm 15 years old. I'm like, dude, this will totally be fun, right? So
Yeah, let's do that.
they're like, oh man, this one kid took like however many amps, and I'm like, do it.
I totally imagine your teacher. Does any of
Yeah.
you want
Mr.
to get
Thompson, man.
electrified?
Yep,
Mr.
that's
Thompson.
Convict
Mr. Thompson was a
437 to you.
psycho.
Mr. Thompson was awesome. That was the only class I passed in that year of high school.
Was awesome. What happened to him?
You got
Well, I'm just
electrocuted.
talking-
Penitentiary got
Yeah, he
electrocuted.
might actually just be in prison right
Yeah,
now for
probably
killing
is.
somebody.
Turns out electrocuting kids, not cool. Well, I grabbed onto something that was plugged into the mains and got a zap. That was no fun. And I got electrocuted by a
Well,
dishwasher.
yeah, but I
once.
had like a controlled situation. You just did something dumb.
No, I literally just got electrocuted. It hurt like hell.
I was fixing Christmas lights.
You involuntarily shout when you're being electrocuted. Let me tell you that.
You don't actually have
I was like,
control.
I didn't realize I was shouting until I was like, "Whoa!" It's like, wow.
I like Coral laughing at his misfortune.
Yeah, thanks.
That just makes it better.
It's cool. I mean, he's alive.
Am I Bruno?
Maybe his soul died when he got
Shoot.
electrocuted.
That's why I got into Dota.
Jesus, ain't that the truth?
So anyways, spawning everyone.
He just can't miss.
But Bulba got the arrow,
Well, he missed a few times, and they can't engage on him. It's too hard.
Dire's structures
and he's going for a shift stick or a Shiva.
Quickfoot's just doing his own thing over here, man. He's got that Mjolnir finish.
Thanks to the Mjolnir. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the Mjolnir. G.
G.
He gets slept. There's the E-Blade. BKB going to be popped. Earth Splitter does no damage. Turns around,
Oh,
gets
he's
the life
sucking.
drain off. Quickfoot taking quite a bit of damage.
here
Hook shot,
comes.
counter initiation, but he hits the replicate of all things. Then
Oh,
pops
blow.
the blade mill. Player Brain, very optimistic leap, gets telekinesis. Now on the run, Fluff very low. Light of Heaven. Oh, he gets arrowed by Fluff point blank. The Rocket Flare is going to be able to kill him, but Light of Heaven drops
Way
Quake in the
too.
meantime.
Run,
NS
way
with
too.
the freezing field, Quake is going to be dropping as well.
TC's gaming.
He's just at like full HP right now. Nothing matters. Nothing matters but the fact that Quakefit and TC are just absolutely farmed to heck right now.
Yeah.
And Quakefit bought back for that.
Yeah, of course, but that
Always
is something
worth
you
it.
can do when you're here.
Dire's
oh,
top
NS.
tower is under
okay.
attack.
That's.
I think he just soiled himself a bit when he saw that. He was like, oh god.
Why?
But now, Liquid, they're going to be able to secure themselves a
I
road.
want to see NS stealing this road. Not stealing the road.
I mean, how
stealing
does
the
he
last
steal
hit.
it?
The last hit.
Walks in there.
It is so hard.
Crystal Nova now.
Oh, a little late.
Too slow.
Arrow.
the arrow.
Oh, almost got him. There's the electrified water.
I told you.
Quakefoot.
Electrified water
Teleports
is
in
totally
bit,
legit.
and there's the combo. He dies
what's the
anyway.
waveform?
He dies to the Orchid. He had to wait for him out of the pit to hit the guy.
Yeah, true. Get a blink, Morphling.
Jeez, Bruno.
Get a blink, Morphling.
I don't know if he
Why,
even
why,
needs.
why do people not go blink on Morphling? Sounds awesome.
Sounds
It
awful.
does.
Sounds
I'm
amazing.
with
Sounds like
Bruno.
something that
However,
Gent
Bruno,
would do.
bear in mind,
Yes.
I am agreeing with your idea. That probably means it's a bad one.
Arrow.
Oh.
Not gonna hit TC. But see, this is what I mean. Player Brain, he's not doing bad. His farm is actually very good, but he's a Morana with farm.
Yeah.
He can't do it on his own. This is why I was saying earlier.
You were
As
right.
soon as you get phase drums, just game. Like, throw arrows out, pressure towers. Liquid can't defend that well during the early game, and even if they try to split push you, it's an early game split push against a team with a Pugna and Mass Serpent Wards. You're going to win the push war.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of the team. So for me, I feel like VP have kind of put themselves in this spot by not playing as aggressive as they should have.
Push wars.
So, do you think
Yeah.
that the Morphling was necessarily what they should have chosen, or it could have been any carry that would have been of this kind?
Well, it ended up working out because, like what Bruno was saying earlier, they had a team that was formed to give him room, and they did that.
Oh,
Right.
oh, oh. What? That.
Well, I mean, even if that arrow landed, it wouldn't have mattered.
Here comes the
It's just
ventilation
nice
arrow.
to see. Take joy in something, Draskell.
But I think that VP made a couple of decision-making errors and just not playing the game as aggressively as I think maybe they could have. Because look at all of their heroes. There isn't a bad mid-game hero in that lineup.
Nature's
Where you
Prophet
look
top.
at Morphling and Prophet, yeah, he's going in, gonna get hook shot. He's gonna throw out the Orchid and we'll be able to kill. He's gonna kill them both.
wow.
That damage, the BKB is still very long. Light of Heaven
I
tries to
don't care.
TP and he's just gonna get blasted down by the staff.
You've gone
4,000 gold on this Nature's Prophet, man.
Use the Midas, sell it.
He
buy something
didn't.
else.
He didn't use Mjolnir on himself, by the way.
No, he could have.
And by the way, it procs off of magic as well, not just melee.
Yes.
So he could have, like, you know what? You pop your battery assault. I'm gonna zap the crap out of you, man.
Zap, zap, zap. Run away. Here comes the spirit.
Here comes the sun.
Toot, toot, toot.
His ult's off cooldown. I would have cast it by now.
Whoa, come on.
Elder Titan got his Shiva as well.
He is now going for Daedalus, by the way.
Nope.
Who Prophet?
Arrow? Whose
Yeah.
arrow was that? Was that Fluff's?
He's
I
got
think
the
so, yeah.
recipe.
Yeah, it
He
was
just
Fluff's.
bought the recipe.
Oh,
Oh, Explosion
He-
Town.
he
yeah.
just cannot live through that. I mean, he got ulted by Prophet as well.
Oh,
fairly
gee,
sure.
Dad.
Yeah.
This is Raxus.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, thank you for the words, my friend. Nom, 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 nom. These are really delicious. What did he shackle? What the hell?
I don't know what's going on anymore, man. Hook shot in from Light of Heaven. Liquid,
Light of
they
Heaven.
seem to be on a
No.
roll right now.
Why
Fluff's
are you
gonna be
doing
able
this to me?
Decrepify
You
her,
don't have
pop the
to,
Ghost
this
Scepter.
guy.
Light of Heaven pops his Ghost Scepter, gonna get chased down by the glowing water god and eventually fall. TC in the meantime picks up a double, 28 to 18 here at 37 minutes. First game of the day here at ASUS ROG's Dreamleague, and it looks like Liquid are poised to take it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of a revenge. You know how we called it Rocky versus Drago yesterday?
Yeah,
But it could be Apollo Creed versus Drago.
that's true.
And now
Did they
Liquid
fight?
is Rocky,
Dire's top tower
and they
has
actually
fallen.
win this game, avenging their dead friends.
I don't think Apollo Creed and Drago fought, did they? You're thinking of
Apollo Creed.
Victory.
dies.
No, he fought Booker T, didn't he?
No. He fought like you remember that Drago has the fists in here, and Apollo is like, yeah, champ, let's play. And he hits his fist, and Drago doesn't move because he has really strong arms.
Oh wait, no, it's not. Who was Mr. T play in the Rocky?
No, it was Hulk Hogan at the beginning.
I mean in the second one. I can't remember.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Rocky, man.
I haven't seen the Rocky movies like recently enough to where I could just be like, oh yeah, I totally know which one's which. I'm just kind of going with the flow.
Not as recently as Fern Gully.
Hey man, I didn't watch it yesterday. James did, first off. And when you're 8 years old, everything is awesome.
You told me that it was awesome and you were going to kill me if I didn't say
No, I was going to say, no, there was another movie.
You literally threatened my life.
What was it? No, you said Aladdin was shit.
Aladdin is shit.
No, Aladdin is not shit.
Oh, yeah.
No, dude, you're just
sucks.
way off the mark
Movie
here.
sucks. Sorry, folks.
Come
Fern
here,
Gully's bad.
Andy, please stay with us. You don't need to be with that guy. You can be here. Screwing with the camera shot.
Stay over there, buddy.
Tonight
It's all Rocky. Hunt for Red October over this side of the table. You got Fern Gully and Aladdin over that side of the table.
I think you've actually just made a ton of enemies.
I don't
Not
give
just
a
in the
damn.
studio,
I don't give a damn.
but
I'll
all
be
over
happy.
the world.
I'll watch Red October and Rocky in my house while the queue forms, and you guys can watch Fern Gully and whatever the hell you want to watch.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Hey, James.
Hi.
Thanks.
How's it going?
Milton says he's with me.
And we're here now.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations, firstly, to Team Liquid. That will be their first win of the tournament thus far. So they're going to be 1 and 2. When we come back, we'll be going into our next game, which will be Fnatic versus VP. But of course, we're going to get the Skadi replay working. So me and Bruno will take you through that as well. So that's going to be something. We'll see how that goes today. So it's all that and more after the break.
It's time to extend your domination. Extend your command precision with an 8200 DPI Pro Aim R3 laser sensor. Extend your atmospherics with a fully customizable 4 LED multicolor lighting system with effects. Extend the life and accuracy of your gaming with the Rocket Titan wheel, the Cone XTD Max Customization Gaming Mouse.
Early night as the caffeine inside our mind dies, and I hope that we'll survive. And we last one more fight. Though you're tired, you know I don't need no fire. I don't need no fire. I can make you burn. I can make you scream without saying a word. I can give you karma that you don't deserve. I can make it louder just 'cause I like it. He called me a tiger, guess that's what I am. I call
Welcome back to the ASUS ROG Dream League, and we're going to go into game number 2 in just a moment. But before we do, we're going into the post-game analysis of Virtus.Pro versus Team Liquid. Unfortunately, we took a little while to get back on camera. There were a couple of reasons, maybe. One, the replay wasn't available, so we might not be able to do the Scadi replay, or Pyrion was trying to fight all three of us based off Aladdin, but we got some sick moves.
Still here.
And a genie in a
Still
bottle.
here.
That's what
Until
people-
you kill me, this fight is not over.
They actually just paid me
Challenge
more, so I would
accepted.
stand next to him again.
Huh? Yeah.
So they gave me more
I
money.
want to
so
give
no.
Pyrion the Ludovico treatment. Just stick his eyelids, sit him in the chair, watch Disney all night. He will come out tomorrow.
He'd come in tomorrow and be like, "Hello, I'm Pyrion," and then and start bursting into song randomly like some
Birdies in his
crazy man.
shoulders.
But let's go into Virtus.Pro against Team Liquid. We don't have the Scadi replay, but I did make some pointers that we were going to bring up. So first off, 3 minutes in, Virtus.Pro did get themselves a nice first blood, looping behind the tower. And from there onwards, it was really just an even exchange, I would say. As in, VP had some nice defenses and rotations, but VP weren't getting, I felt, enough out of their lineup. They weren't pushing hard enough. Go on, Andy. What do you want to say?
I wanted to stop you. Liquid got first blood.
Oh, did they?
VP.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
That's what I was
blow
meant
your
to say.
brain, he wasted the arrow, right? Because he thought that Quickfoot was just going to try to juke into the woods and TP.
Scriff's been playing with my
Instead of-
notes. That's what's happened, Andy.
Bastard.
He's back. He's just mad at me because we got food for 4 people, and
was
instead of
good.
5, we forgot him.
It was good.
Jesus.
Sorry, Scriff. That's
So even Pyrion knew.
Kind of like
good burgers, man.
Even the guy who doesn't like Aladdin knew who got the first blood that game.
Yeah.
Where's your head at?
Scriff covered me for the first 3 minutes. I had everything else
Oh,
onwards,
okay.
which was brilliant. Then essentially they just allowed, I would say, Team Liquid a little bit too much room. Free farm. TC was getting everything he wanted out of his lane. They did try and harass him a little bit, but they weren't able to take him down on a regular basis. And at the same time, Quaiva picked up his Orchid, and you even had on the TC, or ET, sorry, you had the BKB as well. So that was kind of like the 20-minute mark, and we would have shown you a really nice fight at 20 minutes where Team Liquid were able to get a triple kill with TC. They had pick up G, and then there was a bit of a mistake on a Hex. But that was the one fight that basically said Team Liquid looked like they're ahead, and from there, with not much happening, light to heaven, I felt really unfortunate for that guy because he got his Blade Mail. He's like, yes, Blade Mail. And then you're like, well, there's BKBs and your Blade Mail doesn't do anything. And he's like, well, I can't afford a BKB myself, which I need. And then had to go for a Ghost Scepter.
Yeah.
And it just didn't help. Like, he and NS, Light of Heaven and NS, just became completely irrelevant later in the game. We saw NS getting taken down quite a few times. So Team Liquid just stayed ahead because VP didn't put enough pressure onto the towers. And
Yeah.
they didn't play their lineup aggressive enough. That's how you can really sum it up.
Pretty much. I mean, when you see a Shadow Shaman pick, you know that VP have to go safe lane, right? Because they have the Morph lane. So you have the Shadow Shaman sitting in the safe lane. Get 6, fight. The Mirana, blow your brain. He sat in his lane for so long, didn't really do a whole lot in terms of contributing to the mid game. He was involved in 3 kills, I think,
Yeah.
at like 18 minutes in.
It was weird to see a Mirana trying to pick up carry items to go up against a Morphling, which doesn't work. Morphling will just scale better most of the time, and Mirana is a great mid-game hero just because of the sheer damage that she will be able to put out with her abilities, especially when you have G with Decrepify. Imagine dropping a Decrepify into, you can have an arrow into Starfall.
Yeah.
It's just insane damage. But yeah, G became a little bit irrelevant later on as well with the carry potential that they had on Koiva as well as TC.
Good try.
So, thank you. 5 out of 10.
Quick
5 out of 10.
I think.
But we'll leave it at that because we did wait a little bit of time to make sure we could do a post-game analysis with Scadi, but hopefully we'll get that for game number 2. Everything's still in process. So we're going to go into the next match, which will be Fnatic, who are currently 3-0 against Virtus.Pro.